How to find your best ball position. Hi, I'm Ken Martin, PGA member and golf program instructor here at Keiser University's College of Golf. If you haven't done so yet, be certain to subscribe by clicking the button below. So, ball position. Real important. We've got two ways to look at it. The first is from down the line view, and it's relative to how close that golf ball actually is to my swing center. So swing center being the center of my chest. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment and why that's important. With a wedge, it's typical for us to allow our arms to hang and stand closer to the golf ball. Well, as the club gets longer, this is a 6-iron, I'm going to back up a little bit because the golf club is longer. And with a driver, the club gets even longer, and now I'm going to have to back up even further. So ball position, we have to make certain that we have enough room for our body to turn and our arms to swing to deliver the golf club to a location where the golf ball actually is. If we get too close, that can influence the direction of our golf swing. If we get too far, likewise, it can influence the direction of our swing. So proximity to the ball is one ball position to check. If we come around to face on, the other ball position to check is the relative to your swing center. So that means it's either forward, in the middle, or back, or some version of those. And the idea here is that that can get confusing. The whole purpose of having a consistent ball position is so that we can make certain the ball is in a place where we can gather the golf ball the way we want to, either on a descending angle of approach, a level angle of approach, or an ascending angle of approach. So examples of that are in short game, we have a descending angle of approach because we want to make certain that we hit the golf ball before the ground. That applies to any time the golf ball is on the ground. We have a descending angle of approach. Maybe perfectly level with a long club like a 3-wood or a 5-wood. Drivers, on the other hand, when the ball is up in the air on a tee, then we actually have an ascending angle of approach. All of those require specific ball positions, and we're also changing length golf clubs. So an easy way to make certain that you have the correct ball position is to actually use one ball position relative to your lead heel. So I'm going to look at my lead heel, and I'm going to make certain that the ball position is 3 inches inside of the lead heel. So if I'm using a wedge, I can actually narrow, so I'll keep this ball position 3 inches inside the lead heel. I can narrow my stance up, and you can see now that relative to my swing center is actually just on top or maybe slightly forward of where that golf ball is, which ensures me the ability to make a descending angle of approach. And all I did was move my trail foot closer to my lead foot. If I go to a longer golf club like a 6-iron, then I'm going to have to get further away because the golf club is longer, but I can keep that ball position 3 inches inside the lead heel and just simply widen my stance out to what I like to call hip width. So my hip joint should be inside of my each foot, to the instep of each foot, and that would be just standard stance width for some middle irons, for most of your iron shots. And what you see that does is that automatically moves my swing center by moving my trail foot out a little bit wider. It moves my swing center slightly from above to slightly behind, which allows me room for making a full swing to actually allow my swing center to actually get up on top of the golf ball so I can still gather the golf ball on a descending angle. If I'm using the longest club in the bag, the driver, I want to still keep that ball position 3 inches inside the lead heel. I'm obviously going to have to get further away from it. And now I'm going to widen my stance out so that the outsides of my shoulders are to the insides of my feet. And so this would be a shoulder width stance, the widest stance that we use for long clubs like drivers, 3-woods, 5-woods maybe. And at this point, you can see just by moving the trail foot back, my swing center is now definitively behind the golf ball, which is great for being able to make an ascending angle of approach, which is what I want with a driver. Bottom line, though, is that all I changed was my trail foot. By changing my trail foot and width of my stance, I am actually adapting my setup position to accommodate the angle of approach that I want to create depending on the golf club that I'm using. And that spot is 3 inches inside the lead heel. Give that a try and see if it makes you a little bit more consistent.